everybody, I am Liz, and today I wanted to do a book review of A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. This book is definitely a tragedy. It was, and I knew going in it was going to be sad, but I was not expecting it to be as sad as it really was. I would not recommend this book, honestly, to anybody who is really struggling with their own mental health, because this book, even if you are like strong and steady, it crushes you. It has a lot of trigger warnings, particularly self-harm, suicide, suicidal ideation, child abuse, domestic violence, rape. There's a lot of trauma going on in this book, so be steady, be wary, be clear that you need to be in a good mental headspace before diving into this book. Now, all of that disclaimers aside, I did really love and enjoy this book. The synopsis of A Little Life, it takes place with 4 guys that all meet their freshman year of college. Now they've graduated, they've completed their graduate degrees, and now they're going out and about in New York City to try to find success, fame, and fortune. We have our main primary character, Jude, that bands these 4 men together. His past is very much a mystery that you are solving and figuring out as the book goes. And he is a lawyer, so he is trying to go from just graduating to becoming a public defender. And so that is his story. Then there is Willem. Willem wants to be a famous actor, and he's making his dues working at a restaurant until he gets there. There's JB, who wants to be an artist. He has some pretty eclectic tastes, like his hair era, where he collected hair, especially coarse hair, at barber shops to create statues and sculptures and things. And I cringed because the descriptions in this book are fantastic. And then the 4th character is Malcolm. Malcolm wants to be an architect. He really loves building and drawing and making buildings and homes and spaces really livable and breathtaking to look at. So it takes place with these 4 guys just really trying to find success and find hardships along the way, and it was just so breathtaking. I give the plot an A for tragedy, and I really did love the plot. It is very slow paced, it's very character driven, not really plot driven. So if that's not a type of book for you, maybe be wary going into this. Really, it's just these characters going about their daily lives and trying to find their place in the world. In New York City particularly, which this setting, I don't think this book could have been as successful in its plot and its setting and everything without it being set in New York City. The descriptions are fantastic. This author was just such a well-written author. I really love the writing style and diving into all these very descriptive settings and characters and all of their little nuances with their personality. And as this is, a lot of the characters have a lot of different obstacles to face. JB and Malcolm come from Black heritage, so they have to handle all these racisms and other just discrimination elements, even though they do come from money. And then Jude and Willem are down in the dumps from a poorer framework of life, and so it has really amazing descriptions from poverty to riches, and it was just such a great just canvas painted in this story. Now, the characters in this book, as it is a very character-driven story, had to have been written well, and this book was definitely written well. It was beautifully devastating what happens in these characters' pasts and presents, and all the characters were very well developed. Even the side characters, I felt that they were very 3D and just painted so well. I could understand them just by reading about them. It was done very well, and I really, even though I was dreading what I'm reading currently when it was at the very sad parts of the book, I very much so craved reading the next pages, and so I definitely highly recommend this story to those that love character-driven fiction books that are just, they're sad, but they have really beautiful, really happy moments as well. Now, as I wrap up this review of A Little Life, I want to tell you guys my favorite quote. My favorite quote is on page 240 with our character Willem and another character, a side character you'll meet along the way named Felix. And it says here, "The only trick of friendship, I think, is to find people who are better than you. Not smarter, not cooler, but kinder and more generous and more forgiving. And then to appreciate them for what they can teach you. And to try to listen to them when they tell you something about yourself, no matter how bad or good it might be, and to trust them, which is the hardest thing of all, but the best as well." There's a lot of other quotes and things. As you can see, I have a lot of sticky tabs everywhere in this book to highlight things that made me happy, sad, mad, laugh, and everything. Now, to wrap up this review, I'm going to talk about some of the main themes of the story and just possibly a book that I kind of compare it to. So obviously I've talked about some pretty big themes like overcoming traumas and discriminations and racial disparities, but there's also really just finding your way in life and trying to succeed or looking for success even though it's really not everything it's cracked up to be. Maybe you might succeed in life but may not be happy still. And so while thinking about A Little Life and thinking about a book I can compare it to, I chose Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. Of Mice and Men, I read it in high school, and even though it was required reading, I still really enjoyed it. I loved the story of these down in the dumps farmhands trying to make money, save, so they can get their own farm and find their own success out on the West. And so I thought it was really fitting to kind of compare Of Mice and Men to A Little Life, just because it still has that theme of really finding your way in life and also finding success, even though tragedies are a part of life. So I hope you enjoyed my review of A Little Life. I hope you gained some really good insight going into the story. And if you've read it, please let me know in the comments down below what you think about it, if I left something out, and what was your favorite part of this story. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and can give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, subscribe if you want to see more of my video content. And remember that I post every Tuesday and Friday, and I would love to see you guys' faces again. I love you guys, I appreciate your support, and until next time, bye!